Hello everyone, and welcome back to Jesse Heck Creative. Today we're going over Dr. Eggman, Dr. Ivo Robotnik, the modern version. Let's get to it. So here's Eggman in all his eggy glory. The first thing that stands out to me, his arms are incredibly way too long for any human. It makes me think of him being some kind of like ape or monkey man or whatever, which leads, credence to a theory that maybe he's some kind of animal instead of being a human, which would be interesting, but you never know. So as far as this goes, the long arms, I'm fine with it. The lanky limbs, it makes him more cartoony, makes him more weird, but he looks like a demented circus performer. Also, with his coat, looks very nice. A little bit of it's a little slightly rubbery-ish material on the bottom, a little harder plastic on the top, but I digress. So going over to the head, it looks really nice. I like it a lot. It's classic Eggman right here with a twist. A little more spiky mustache instead of the sort of more little clean one, at least. We also have the goggles up top, and the paint is a little bit chipped on there. It's kind of a shame. The ears are really well done right over here, and that strap is good too, right there. He looks really nice with his goggles and his nose, and he has a little sneer down there. You can't really see it below the mustache, but it's there. It's a sneer. The sneer kind of ties into his buckles and all these little straps right here, and all the little sort of like teeth. It all looks like teeth. It's very menacing, or a spinal cord in this case right here. But it's just really well done, this figure. They put a lot of thought into how this guy looks, as opposed to his classic counterpart we have right here. Yeah, they just look like really weird brothers or something. But the inspiration taken from him is now put into this guy. And we get a little bit more white in his color scheme, and a little tiny bit of green too, with those goggles up there. Yeah, but his mustache is toned way down, and his arms are toned way up, and he just looks, I think, a little sillier. His clothing sillier, his face is weirder, but yeah. So more into all the just paint. Yeah, it's a lot of yellows, a lot of whites, a lot of reds. It's very simple, very classic. The black pants down here, it just works very well for this guy a lot. Even though his proportions are really, out of shape, out of stretch. He's got a little gray down here, a little bit gray down there. Ties into the gray up here. So color blocking is really well done for this guy. I like how this guy looks a lot. For color theory, color blocking, he gets like an A+. He looks really good. Proportions, maybe tone it down a tiny bit, but if you want that cartooniness, it works. He does kind of look like an ape man, though, if you want to try to store him and pose him on a shelf. At least, huddle him with all the other characters. Like this, kind of works a little bit, but it's just weird to me how strange his proportions can be. Also to mention, in addition to this little chip right here, there's some bleed going on to these buttons, but I don't really mind because it kind of works in favor of it, making it look a little shinier. A little bit glow, the yellow popping out a little bit more, leading back to these buttons on the back right over here. And again, the design for this guy's costume is really fun. And just these huge cuffs, the really long wristed hands. It's just so weird. The hands look really great. 5 fingers over here, 5 fingers over here. They look kind of big, but I can deal with it. I wish he could face palm, and he can kind of like, put his hand to his head a little bit like this. But yeah, as far as, this guy looks, he looks very exaggerated, but would fit well in Sonic's cartoony world. Especially the modern version, at least. A little cartoonier, more modern. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. As far as articulation goes, he doesn't really have all that much. His head does not move at all, up or down, left or right, nothing. Zero, zip, zilch, nada. You can kind of twist his head a tiny bit, but it just resets back to normal place, and I don't want to ruin anything in this guy because it's just a really awesome figure. So moving his arm up, down, doesn't really go all the way around because his mustache gets in the way and he can't move his head, so there's no real point. You want to keep his arms down to his side. You can move his arm up this much and it connects with this thing. You want to keep this bar piece, this sort of like these teeth or whatever, this design on this side. You don't want to flip it so it goes on this side. It doesn't really work all well that way. You want to have this piece on that side as well. You can't really go. You can move it around, but it will look weird. It will look really strange, to me at least. But having it connect at the seam is genius. That's a real master stroke right there. It also connects at the other side. I think a little worse actually. You know, a little worse. But you know, it kind of works. I don't know. It looks nice like that. How they fit. So kudos to the designers for making that happen. So swivel around here and then elbow up. We already covered that. Swivel around at the wrist, which is really long, up and down, side to side, all the way around. It's a ball joint inside, so that's good. I just don't know why it's so long on the wrist when there isn't that much movement, at least. Nothing here, which is a shame. You know, we get a little bit of softer plastic, harder plastic up here. Now his legs can go back, forward. You can twist it, go to the side, and he gets a really nice range to the side. They actually made a little cut in here to get some range in there, which is nice. I love that a lot. His leg goes this far up, not too bad. Goes far back, pretty okay. It's kind of weak actually back here, you know. I wish it could go farther back. You actually could go farther back. You can almost kick his own butt. You can kick his tails right there. Swivel around with this. This is where it's weak on the pivot. Doesn't really have too much pivot at all. Barely any. You know, his feet are huge, so he can stand pretty well. And 2 peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So, yeah, Eggman's articulation is pretty okay. You want to just have him in the Eggmobile for most of the time. Or just standing there, you know, talking to somebody. But, like, action poses, he isn't your guy. He isn't your guy at all. He isn't your Eggman. Hey everyone, and thank you for watching. When we hit 700 subs, we're going to be playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles in Knuckles mode. Don't miss my fight against Mecha Sonic, and we'll see you there. Eggman stands at about 4.5 inches tall. So here's classic Eggman and modern Eggman, and they both look really good together. I find that I like classic Eggman's look a little bit more than modern Eggman. You just get to see a lot more, because there's a lot more definition and stuff, and the articulation's way better too, more well proportioned. I just think it's a better figure for him, even though I like the look of the modern one better than the classic one. The articulation's better on that one. The look is better on this one. If we can combine them somehow, that'd be great. Also here, Jesse Heck Creative. Okay, we're putting you in jail. You know the punishment? 10 years on the rack. Well, now that you're out, all we did was make your arms longer. Great. Perfect. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Heck Creative. Feel free to click like, subscribe, share, or leave a comment. You can also visit us at jesseheckcreative.com, where you'll find more reviews like this one. Thanks again for watching and keep being creative. Stay tuned.